Is the winner of this match, in your eyes, a lock to win the World Cup?
This is the final.
Okay.
And I say that respectfully to England and to Argentina, but in these two teams, you've got potent attacks. You got star players, Lamine Yamal, a teenage sensation who's taken the world by storm. Kylian Mbappe, when it's all said and done, will have every record in World Cup history. You've got the French national team that's just accustomed to playing big tournaments, big moments, and the Spanish national team that's overwhelmed everybody in the last 2 years. This is the advanced final. And the winner of this will be overwhelmingly the favorite in the final versus Argentina or England.
Yeah, the winner here is the favorite, especially if it's France. Like I'm just going to ride on France all the way through this thing. Now, if Spain wins and you go against somebody like Messi, yes, you will have Spain as a favorite, but there's still going to be this belief that Messi can sort of figure this thing out and pull this thing through, even though Spain will be favorite. Yes, I do think, but we just saw it in the NBA, right, where we had everybody was saying San Antonio and OKC, that was a lock to win it all if they make it. The New York Knicks snuck in and win. You only got to beat the team in front of you. And if France is not there, then you have a shot.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to regret it because they didn't land Giannis. That's the biggest thing in this whole situation. They didn't land Giannis. If you're going to trade a top 10 player, one of the better two-way players in this game in Jaylen Brown, you got to get something back that's worth it. And they didn't. And so at the end of the day, when you look at Brad Stevens, we can talk about he picked the side. We can talk about the salary cap or the second apron or them eating up 70% of the money between Brown and Tatum. Who gives a damn? It's about the return and what you got back for him. Because here's another thing I'm going to say. Who's to say that Jason Tatum is going to finish his career in a Celtic uniform? If Brad Stevens don't get him the help that he need to be able to compete as a number one option. It's nothing safe around the NBA. So if Jason Tatum becomes disgruntled up in the next 2 or 3 years, who's to say he's going to retire as a Celtic? You'll look back on this moment and said, we didn't get Giannis, but you got me Paul George. And you expect me to be a miracle worker with this. Like KG is right. If you're going to trade Jaylen Brown, a guy that finished top 5 in the MVP conversation, then damn it, you got to get something back. The Lakers got more back Utah got more back, in my opinion, for Walker Kessler than the Celtics did for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're telling me, Vinny, that LeBron James, that Cleveland is not on this list with the same coach you just talked about? Yes or no?
Oh, it's on the list. Yeah, but you said why doesn't he just sign with them if he's not ring chasing? That wasn't the question you asked, Perk. Don't flip the questions, big bro.
You know why he's not signing with them? Because he's been waiting on them to make a move. You know what? I'm 90% sure that if Cleveland would have made a move and got Jaylen Brown and possibly traded Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown, I'm 90% sure we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. The problem is that he doesn't trust their roster. And so at the end of the day, what's going to happen is, in order for LeBron James to go to Cleveland, I don't believe that if he does end up in Cleveland, he's not going to end up over there for a vet minimum. I believe that Cleveland is actually going to pay him more money than the other teams that he's considering. So again, what I'm expressing is, I believe that LeBron James wants to win another ring on his way out. This is the only reason that he's sitting up here weighing his options. Y'all agree or disagree?
Yeah, he is weighing the option, but like we talked about, he doesn't want to go to OKC or San Antonio or New York. He also ain't going to Brooklyn. Like he's picking something that's in the middle that has a realistic chance to win a championship, but has a realistic chance where he is going to make a difference. When you eat dinner, you're gonna go to a steakhouse, you're gonna go to the grocery store and cook your own dinner, or you're gonna hunt and gather. I'm not going to go hunt and gather and go find with a knife and find some dinner. I'm gonna do something in the middle. That's what LeBron's doing. He's trying to cook a dinner. He's not trying to go to the steakhouse or go hunt.
What was your reaction to the way the fight ended?
I'm going to start with the diplomatic answer first, which is I felt bad for all the fans. I felt bad for everyone in attendance who paid to be there, everyone who tuned in to see it, because there was a lot of anticipation. We haven't seen them in 5 years. That said, this was the third easiest bet of my life, and that outcome was extremely predictable and also highly lucrative. If you want the top 3 bets all time, number 1, 2018 Super Bowl national anthem. Shout out Pink. Over-under was 2 minutes, came in at 154. How did we know? Rehearsals. She did 4 rehearsals in 1 minute, 54 seconds, 2 days before the event. That information got out. Easiest bet ever. Bet number 2, McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. That was the most obvious layup in the history of layups, but you got a good price because everyone actually thought a guy who didn't box was going to beat one of the greatest boxers of all time. And then this number 3. And again, people are upset. 92% of the money that was wagered at DraftKings was on Conor McGregor, a fighter who's 37 years old, hadn't fought in 5 years, hadn't won or had won one time since the Obama administration, and yet people were betting him. It was an absolute layup. Holloway's fantastic. It's unfortunate that it went down like this, but I think even if he doesn't get hurt, he's still getting smacked. So ultimately, third greatest bet of all time. I'm very content with it.
Courtney, there's always concerns when it comes to Shohei Ohtani because he's such a fundamental part of this Dodgers team's success. But Dave Roberts, the manager for the Dodgers, also said that if this were the playoffs, Shohei Ohtani would be pitching right now. So the Dodgers are doing what they've done with Blake Snell, what they've done with Edwin Diaz, what they've done with all of the injured players that they have, who they don't have to rush back because they have so much depth. And they have such a big lead in the National League West that they can prioritize September and particularly October ahead of what's going on right now. And they know that they're going to be all right as long as those guys are healthy by the time the playoffs roll around.
I hate it because ain't neither one of us sitting here going to leave money on the table. I think it sets a bad precedent for the NBA. I think in terms of the Players Association and the collective bargaining deals since 1998, they have progressively gone in favor of the owners. And the problem is the Spurs have 3 potential max players on their roster. Victor Wembanyama, Steph Castle, Dylan Harper. Victor Wembanyama maybe can make up that 5% with his Nike deal and everything else. But does that mean Dylan Harper and Steph Castle, they have to take less because Victor Wembanyama took less? I have yet to see anybody buy a jersey that says we save money on the back of it. I've yet to see somebody buy a jersey that says cap space and flexibility. Like, you're coming to see Victor Wembanyama and you're watching these players like they have a very finite period of time to maximize their earnings potential. I know Victor Wembanyama's an alien and everything else. He's going to get every dollar that's owed to him, but I don't know if I want to applaud this because I'll tell you this. When's the last time we asked an owner to sacrifice some money or whatever it is, or ownership groups to sacrifice money for the sake of winning? The fact that you're putting players in a spot where they have to be both player and executive, give them 2 salaries then, because they're doing 2 people's jobs, and I don't like that.
Should VAR have reviewed the wire incident in the build-up to Jude Bellingham's goal?
Absolutely, you should review it. Listen, if the ball hits the referee, you stop play, and then you resume after. If the ball hits a pigeon that comes flying by, a la Randy Johnson, you stop play, and you resume after. The problem here is there's a chip inside this soccer ball. There's a chip inside this World Cup ball. It's billion-dollar technology, and there's a Richter scale. Either there's an earthquake or there's not an earthquake. We saw it versus Portugal, Croatia. There was a slightest of touch with the hair, a little follicle, and it said, hey, there's a touch. And here, there is no touch. But your eye says, I saw a touch. The spider cam is up in the air. I saw the cable move. I saw the ball fly down in an awkward motion. How are you telling me there is no touch? And the problem here, guys, is FIFA has given us so many reasons to doubt him, that Norwegians are doubting him, and we as a whole doubt FIFA. So this should have been stopped. It should have been reviewed at least.